Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting Terry Dame tutorial. I wanted to show you a few things that I didn't get a chance to show you in class, namely how to share your Foley recordings with your other team members. You're going to record in one session and then you're going to want to each of you are going to want to import those Foley recordings into your own session to work on. So I want to show you how to do it so that you maintain each Foley recording in the timeline, because you've just spent all this time recording them in sync to pictures. You want to make sure you maintain that sync. So we'll get to that in a second. I wanted to show you those clip snapping shortcuts that I couldn't quite make happen during class. So with reference to the 3-beep cue, so to use the 3-beep cue, you want the end of your 3-beep cue clip to align with the beginning of where you want your Foley recording to start. So to snap the end of a clip to a marker or any location where the cursor is in your timeline, you do simply click on the marker so that the cursor is there, and then you hold Command and Control and you click on it with the grabber, and it snaps the end of the clip to your cursor location, and then in this case a marker. It doesn't necessarily have to be a marker, it can be anywhere your cursor is. So if I place my cursor here, Control, Command, click, snaps the end of the cursor to that location. To snap the beginning of a clip to a location or a marker, you click on the marker or place your cursor somewhere, anywhere, and then just simply Control click on with the grabber on the clip, and it'll snap the beginning of the clip to that location. So here with the lipstick, if I select that location, Control click, oops, what happened? Yeah, snaps the beginning of the clip. So end of the clip is Command Control click, and beginning of the clip is just simply Control click with the grabber. So that's that. Now, after you've recorded all of your Foley recordings into one or more than one effects track, so one other thing I want to show you. Remember, if you want, once you record something, so pretend this is a sound effect and not the 3-beep cue, after I've recorded that and I want to move it up into one of my effects tracks where it's going to live, hold Control and drag it, and it will maintain its spot in the timeline. Very important, because it's really easy if you try to do it freehand, it's really easy to knock it out of sync. So holding Control and dragging will keep it in its location. Okay, so after you've got all your sound effects in your one or more Foley effects tracks, you're going to want to export this track's material out into a location that you can then import it into your own session. So the way to do that is you want to highlight everything, all of the clips, back to the beginning of your session. So to do that in one fast and easy move, with the grabber, just highlight the last sound effect in your track. Yours will be further down the line than this, I suspect, but this is the last one I have in here. So you highlight that with the grabber, and then hold down the Shift key and hit return, and it selects all the way back to the beginning of the session. Now the reason why it's important to highlight back to the beginning of the session is that so that when you import this WAV file into your session, it will start, you can just drop it into the beginning of the session, your session, and everything will be in the right spot. So once you've highlighted all the way back to the beginning of the session, you're going to consolidate all those effects into one track. I usually like to make a duplicate of this track before I consolidate, just to be safe. If I ever need to have those effects separated for some reason, I can always go back to the master session and have them separated. So to do that, you just do duplicate, and I'll call this my Foley effects consolidated. like that, and then I'm going to go up into the edit menu, consolidate clip, and now all my effects are consolidated into one clip, and I can export that clip. The short key is Shift Command K, but if you forget that, you can open up your clip bin over here, and there's a little pull down menu up there, and if you open that up, export clips as files, Shift Command K, and you select that. They're mono, so you're going to want to use multiple mono is fine. Wave file, make sure they're wave files. And this will be the bit depth of the session. I made a mistake when I set up my session. I wasn't paying attention. You should do your Foley recordings at 48K. You should set up your session at 24-bit 48K, because 48K is film sound convention. I made a folder on the desktop here called Foley Tracks, and I'm going to export it into that, so you can see I have it chosen here as Foley Tracks, and that's all there is to it. Hit export, and it will export that. Hello. There it is. So Foley effects consolidated, however many you have, tracks you have, you should do that procedure for each of them, and then you can import that audio file into your own personal session, and make sure you import it and bring it all the way to the beginning of the session, and then all your effects will be in the right spot. You can go ahead and go back, in your session if you need to do something specific to, one effect. You can certainly separate them back into individual clips as well. So that's an easy, quick way to share your Foley recordings with your team members. Do not share them with anyone who was not in that recording session. Alrighty, see you next week.